Money roll, yeah, I'm looking at the bank statements, I do not want to jail, yeah, nuts with my gang, you be just a stain, cover on my chain.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you guys are having a great day as usual. So for this video, guys, I'm going to be reacting to another George Carlin stand-up clip, and the clip that I'm reacting to is him talking about abortion. So let's jump into the clip. Hopefully it's funny, and we'll have a little discussion after. Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you. Why is it that most of the people who are against abortion are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place? Boy, these conservatives are really something, aren't they? They're all in favor of the unborn. They will do anything for the unborn. But once you're born, you're on your own. Pro-life conservatives are obsessed with the fetus from conception to 9 months. After that, they don't want to know about you. They don't want to hear from you. No, nothing. No neonatal care, no daycare, no Head Start, no school lunch, no food stamps, no welfare, no nothing. If you're pre-born, you're fine. If you're preschool, you're fucked. Conservatives don't give a shit about you until you reach military age. Then they think you are just fine, just what they've been looking for. Conservatives want live babies so they can raise them to be dead soldiers. Pro-life. Pro-life. These people aren't pro-life, they're killing doctors. What kind of pro-life is that? What, they'll do anything they can to save a fetus, but if it grows up to be a doctor, they just might have to kill it? They're not pro-life. You know what they are? They're anti-woman. Simple as it gets. Anti-woman. They don't like it. They don't like women. They believe a woman's primary role is to function as a broodmare for the state. Pro-life. You don't see many of these white anti-abortion women volunteering to have any black fetuses transplanted into their uteruses, do you? No, you don't see them adopting a whole lot of crack babies, do you? No, that might be something Christ would do. And you won't see a lot of these pro-life people dousing themselves in kerosene and lighting themselves on fire. You know, morally committed religious people in South Vietnam knew how to stage a goddamn demonstration, didn't they? They knew how to put on a fucking protest. Light yourself on fire! Come on, you moral crusaders, let's see a little smoke to match that fire in your belly. Here's another question I have. How come when it's us, it's an abortion, and when it's a chicken, it's an omelet?
Damn, yo.
What? Are we so much better than chickens all of a sudden? When did this happen, that we passed chickens in goodness? Name 6 ways we're better than chickens. See, nobody can do it. You know why? Because chickens are decent people. You don't see chickens hanging around in drug gangs, do you? You don't see a chicken strapping some guy to a chair and hooking up his nuts to a car battery, do you? When's the last chicken you heard about came home from work and beat the shit out of his hand? Huh? Doesn't happen. Because chickens are decent people. But let's get back to this abortion shit. Now, is a fetus a human being? This seems to be the central question. Well, if a fetus is a human being, how come the census doesn't count them? If a fetus is a human being, how come when there's a miscarriage, they don't have a funeral? If a fetus is a human being, how come people say we have 2 children and 1 on the way, instead of saying we have 3 children? People say life begins at conception. I say life began about 1 billion years ago, and it's a continuous process. Continuous, just keeps rolling along. Rolling along.
Amazing.
I said, you know something? Listen, you can go back further than that. What about the carbon atoms? Human life could not exist without carbon. So is it just possible that maybe we shouldn't be burning all this coal? Just looking for a little consistency here in these anti-abortion arguments.
Hey.
See, the really hardcore people will tell you life begins at fertilization. Fertilization when the sperm fertilizes the egg, which is usually a few moments after the man says, gee, honey, I was going to pull out, but the phone rang and it startled me. Fertilization. But even after the egg is fertilized, it's still 6 or 7 days before it reaches the uterus and pregnancy begins. And not every egg makes it that far. 80% of a woman's fertilized eggs are rinsed and flushed out of her body once a month during those delightful few days she has. They wind up on sanitary napkins, and yet they are fertilized eggs. So basically what these anti-abortion people are telling us is that any woman who's had more than one period is a serial killer. Consistency. Consistency.
Hey, right.
Hey, if they really want to get serious, what about all the sperm that are wasted when the state executes a condemned man and one of these pro-life guys who's watching comes in his pants, huh? Here's a guy standing over there with his jockey shorts full of little Vinnies and Debbies, and nobody's saying a word to the guy. Not every ejaculation deserves a name. Now, speaking of consistency, Catholics, which I was until I reached the age of reason. Catholics and other Christians are against abortions, and they're against homosexuals. Well, who has less abortions than homosexuals? Leave these fucking people alone, for Christ's sakes. Here is an entire class of people guaranteed never to have an abortion. And the Catholics and Christians are just tossing them aside. You'd think they'd make natural allies. Go look for consistency in religion.
My gosh. Hey guys, great stuff there by George Carlin. As usual, a masterful comedian, great with the English language, in a league of his own, to be honest with you. One of the all-time great comedians that we've ever seen on this earth. Always speaks some real truth and some real relevant stuff. What he was saying was pretty potent, pretty real stuff. Like he says, the right, there's a lot of inconsistencies with what the right believes, but there's also a lot of inconsistencies with what the left believes, you know? We are where we are in human history because of both parties. You can't hate on one party without hating on the other. And I tend to lean towards being a free-thinking human being. I don't consider myself either right or left. I'm just a human being trying to figure things out and go forward as I grow older. You know what I mean? So I don't fall into any of those paradigms. I don't really like to get into those paradigms because it just never really goes anywhere. Both sides just end up yelling and screaming at each other and nothing really gets done. So let me know what you guys think, though, in the comment section, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of controversial stuff in the comment section. So let me know. Try and keep it positive. And let me know what other clips you guys want me to react to, whether it be George Carlin or any other comedians. Let a brother know, and I'll try and get to it ASAP, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button because it helps the channel out a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm close to 1,000, if not past 1,000 at this point. So stay tuned for a video about that. I really appreciate it. But I'm going to wrap this video up, guys, so take care of yourself. Stay safe, because it is a crazy world, and there are a lot of crazy people. But most importantly, guys, you already know by now. Peace.